Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I am your host, Brandon Elliott. Super excited today. We have a special guest. This man, he's been featured on Bigger Pockets podcast. He's been in the engineering space for a long time now, but more importantly, a landlord, really had a ton of projects. I mean, you can dive into it in just a moment with all the different big projects that you've taken care of. But since '96, you've been in the game. And you have a book out that really teaches people how to increase their net income overall on their rental projects. So we're going to dive into a lot of that stuff. But without further ado, Al, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, it's a beautiful day. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you jumping on.
To share me with your audience. I appreciate that.
Of course, always. Yeah. So with anybody out there that doesn't know exactly who you are, do you mind just diving in a little bit of your story?
Oh, yeah. So, I started in '96 as a landlord, and I was doing the math. I understood everything. I was fixing things myself, and I was just disappointed at the end of the year how much money I had left over.
Yeah.
I was supposed to have all this cash flow, and I was wondering what's going on. Thank God for depreciation and all those tax benefits, but to look at the actual income I made, it just didn't make sense. So I went on this quest to come up with other ways to get more income on my properties, because my goal was just to have, instead of having 100 rentals to achieve financial freedom, I just wanted one rental to accomplish the job.
Okay.
So I was really focused on, it's not how many rentals you have, it's all about net income.
Yeah.
So that's my whole philosophy, is focus on the net income if you want that to grow, or otherwise you're going to get a bunch of rentals that are poor performers, and just to say you have a certain number for your ego. So that's what happened. And so from 2011 to 2015, I was just focused on collecting people's ideas and testing out some of my own. I was trying to collect 50 ways of increasing your net income for your rental property, but I only got to 40, and that was
not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah. So I put that down because I wanted other landlords who also realized the truth of the matter. As long as you're holding a mortgage, and if you maintain your property, a lot of your income, your cash flow is going to just go. It's going to build up, and then you're going to have a paint job or a roof repair.
Yeah, capital expenditures, they add up over time. If you're not saving today, it's going to cost you tomorrow.
That's right. So the whole concept of, I was doing professionally, as a side job, I was doing reserve studies, which is helping people understand how much they should be setting aside to take care of their capital expenditures.
Oh, wow.
So I was focused on that, and I was trying to keep the reserves, and I was realizing that was a novel concept to a lot of landlords. They thought cash in is ready to be spent.
Yeah, let's go.
Not like, you got to fill up your reserves first, and then you can spend what's on top of that. But most likely, you're going to lose that as well. So save it all.
Yeah, save it all.
Right. So that's what it came down to. But we worked our way out of that. I've been working my way out of that since 1996. So it's a long stretch as a landlord, but I repositioned myself as a landlord scientist so that it frees me up to fail, to boldly go where no landlord has gone before. And if it works, I can report it. If it doesn't work, I can report it. Yeah. And just keep it real with everybody.
I love that. So now you have some other books out as well, but you're a part of, some mastermind group. You educate other people as well, and you have your own course, correct? Online?
Right.
Nice. So give us a little breakdown of what that looks like.
The whole educational piece?
Yeah.
Which piece did you want me to get onto first?
Do you have several different courses?
So the first course, the first book was, I realized that the inner city rental properties have good cash flow, but they're known for not appreciating in value. So I couldn't understand. I understood it, but I was like, they're not appreciating in value because people aren't exercising their leadership. Because you have to lead a neighborhood forward to make it safer and more orderly. And you invest time instead of money, and that investing helps you grow your equity a lot more than refurbishing a bathroom.
Yeah, it's natural, ownership pride.
Ownership pride, and there's a lot, especially if you're in a heavy, most rental neighborhood, most people living there are rentals. That's your best opportunity because those landlords, they don't want to be the problem.
Yeah.
They don't want to be the problem, but they don't want to put forth any effort.
Yep.
But they will cut you a check. They will pay for your events. They will pay if you're doing things that's going to help them potentially raise their rents and make things nicer. So you have this big stack of this battery of money, and you have this need. You just need to connect them, and then you can really do something for the neighborhood and improve your property values as well. So that book was called Building Wealth with Inner City Rentals was my first book. It's about how I took my property I bought for like a $375 and turned it into something that was $1.3 million.
Wow.
Through that process of making it an attractive place and repelling the bad elements.
Yeah.
So it was nonprofit work that people said my activities were nonprofit.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, go ahead, say that, but I'm just going to keep taking larger checks with less maintenance issues and less hassle. I'll just keep taking those to the bank.
I love that. That. So within your courses, you're breaking down a lot of that info. You're showing people how they can do the same thing.
That was my first course. This is interesting because it stems off my book.
Yeah.
But the people that were attracted to that were people that had a different mindset. They had a more of a poverty mindset were attracted to that book.
Really?
So the mindset of people that were interested in that line of thinking, it just took a lot for me to get them past an investor mindset to an abundance mindset.
Sure.
So they were interested in inner city rentals for a little bit different reasons than me. So
yeah,
I put that together and I kind of kept moving because I wanted to talk about how to increase your net income, your equity, as well as reduce your expenses and increase your income.
Yeah.
So that's why I went. The next thing I did was switched over to how do we get our income up? What are some other things we can do besides just raise the rent? There's other ways to position your rental property. For example, if you're on a high traffic count area, you got to look for your billboard opportunities. Just kind of reframe what your building can do. You can rent the inside of your property that's sheltered, or you can rent the outside of your property between your building and your property line. There's storage opportunities there.
Yeah,
so
of course.
So you just kind of keep flipping around the components of your rental property and thinking about other things you can do besides being a one-trick pony, just like any business does, If you're a restaurant business, you look for other opportunities. If you're an Uber business, car sharing business, you look to deliver pizzas as well, or Uber Eats. And, you look for alternative income streams besides just one income.
With the same structure that you have, just looking for different resources that you can just multiply your opportunities. That's great.
Yeah, that's the point. Exactly. Now, if you are dealing with commercial properties, 5 units and larger, and you find opportunities that you could put under contracts, well, that goes directly to your property value.
Yeah.
So it's an extremely lucrative thing to do to get your values up and your net income up. Okay. So that was the reason for the 40 ways.
Yeah, we don't need to go through all 40. I know that's a handful right there, but if you wouldn't mind, diving into some of them, and for all the listeners out there, obviously you're going to want to get your hands on that. It's on Amazon right now. You guys are more than welcome to jump on there, make that purchase, make that investment to grab some treasure, and let me know if you guys do get it. I will send you my book as well, absolutely free, just to hook it up for supporting. But it's something that will literally, increase your income, right? 40 different ways.
It pays for itself as soon as you buy it.
Yeah, so it's a no-brainer.
And you implement, yeah, absolutely. So some of my favorite ways are that I like part of the book is we have the Wi-Fi technology. Our buildings are receiving a lot of signals and transmitting a lot of signals already. We receive, of course, television signals, Wi-Fi signals, Bluetooth signals, and a whole bunch of different things through. So amplifying if you're in a multifamily building or a duplex specifically, or even a single family, if you're connected with other residents or even your neighbors, then you create a savings for them by sharing the signal under a coffee house model. I'll tell you about that. Or by creating savings for your tenants in a multifamily area.
Wow. So basically just, pay for the most expensive one that you can get as much, the best of the best Wi-Fi, and then have everybody chip in to be able to utilize it.
That's exactly right.
I love that.
And they chip in less than they're paying on their own.
Yeah.
And you end up making a profit, and they end up making a savings on it.
No brainer.
Now, you as a landlord are kind of like the coffee shop owner of a cafe, where people come in to buy your coffee, and you give them complimentary Wi-Fi. So under that principle, you're not reselling the Wi-Fi. You're giving it complimentary. So that's the spin on it. That's how you can do it. And that's how you can also share your signal with people. Say the 4 people are surrounding your property line, that's even extra income as well.
Yeah.
So it becomes a very lucrative thing to do, just utilizing a signal and making everyone happy.
That's so good. I love that.
Yeah.
What other ways would you mention that really stands out for some different ways to increase your net income?
Real powerful one, really super easy to do, came from Jeffrey Taylor. He taught me about having your rents, half your rents land on people's paydays if it's every other week. It's a payday rent. Yeah. So that's a very lucrative thing you can do. I offer to, when I was doing kind of lower end rentals, it helped tenants out quite a bit, which is having that half. Since there's 4 extra weeks, every other month has an extra week. So you end up with an extra month of rent. So that really helps. You just got to manage the collection part of it.
Yeah, it's just a collection, so if you can set that up, systemize that somehow to really be able to make it hands off and easy for accounting, so you're not giving extra time away, then you're good.
You end up with it, extra. And then also, of course, furnished rentals. I love that. It's my favorite thing.
Furnished rentals.
Furnished rentals I do monthly and longer furnished rentals or extended stay rentals. That's my most lucrative thing. That allows you pretty much to triple your net, triple, quadruple, quintuple your net income per unit. Because what happens is...
Let's talk about this for a second. I didn't even think about that. So extended stays, you're calling.
Yeah, extended stays. So what you're doing is you got something that you could sell into the long-term rental market, and everyone has a competitive rate there of how high you can raise your rents.
Sure.
But you're taking it and you're repositioning it into the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
And these hotels, these extended stay hotels, have much higher rates per month.
So this is similar to like Airbnb, except it's not one-time thing. It's just it's a little bit longer. It's more towards like for first responders, for instance.
Right. So let's kind of backtrack a little bit. So Airbnb is just a marketing channel.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that's all it is too. And there's about 300 marketing channels.
Of course.
But they're marketing your furnished rental.
Yep.
And then you're just flexing the term of how long people stay.
Yep.
So my term started 31 days and longer. Okay. And my typical stay is about 4 months on that end of it. So the people there's lots of business travelers out there, and there's even more. The mobile workforce is growing and growing because of internet, cloud computing. There's more people traveling for work for extended periods of time.
Yeah.
So some of them have a housing allowance, and some of them have just their companies will reimburse their receipts for their housing for that travel. So those who have a housing allowance, they realize that they can stay at a hotel, or they can stay somewhere less expensive that has more space, more privacy, and they can pocket the difference between the two.
Yep.
So they're like, I want to do that
because
I can have a full oven, full refrigerator, place to park my car, privacy and pocket money and be part of the community versus being right next to a Denny's. You can be right next to another neighbor.
Yeah.
So that's the focus of it. And that's why there's the big price difference between, hotel rates, hotels call it rates,
Sure.
and landlords call it rent. So there's a big difference between rates and rents on a month basis. Could be up to $2,000-$3,000 difference.
Really? So even with the extended stays, minimum is 31 days, you're still being able to get more than the average rent cost?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Say you have a furnished rental, Brandon,
Yeah.
and you have Residence Inn by Marriott in your town.
Yeah.
So they're charging about $160 a night.
Yeah.
And Residence Inn, there's about 1/3 of the people staying there are staying 30 days and longer. That's who they're going after.
Wow.
So you can add that up, and then you can say, well, can I provide a bed, a place for people to cook, a refrigerator? Can I do something nicer than they can?
Yeah.
And your answer is going to be yes. And they say, well, what if I didn't charge them as much? What if I charged them a little bit less?
Of course.
Then the natural human self-interest is going to keep you filled. All you have to do is learn how to market it so that business travelers or your ideal person comes to you, and you can collect this huge windfall difference. You can make one rental equivalent to 3 rentals of net income.
I love that. And let me just ask, for the 31-day minimum, is that more on the aspect of tax reasons? You don't get penalized on short-term rental?
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
So most city ordinances define short-term rentals as 30 days and less.
Yeah.
Okay.
They want their money.
Oh, yeah. It's because they want lodging tax, competitive against hotels. Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as you go over 31 days, then all their ordinances, they don't apply to you anymore.
Sure. Okay.
And then even for taxes, get your Schedule E, where you report your rental income, has a spot there for short-term rentals.
Okay.
Now, if you're doing so, you're collecting rents. But if you are less than 31 days, or less than 30 days, then you're doing a business activity. So you go Schedule C. So the tax difference, the amount of time it takes for you to manage that place, and the type of person that you attract, I like the longer extended stays versus the tourists. Yeah, there's a lot. The tourists come for the 1-2 night stays, and they pay out of pocket themselves. But the longer term stays, usually a business is paying for that. So it's a different feel altogether.
Okay, nice. Let's talk about marketing for a second. What ways do you stand out to be able to get yours picked over others, especially in everything with the chaos of what's going on right now in the world? Is like, it's all new for everybody, right? But is there any ways that maybe firsthand experience that you're personally going through, or something that you can foresee to really be able to make the listeners, their projects, stand out in comparison to others around them in these times today?
If you're going for the extended stay route for marketing, one thing that's critical is a washer and dryer.
Of course. So true.
If someone's going to stay for 2 months, they're going to be searching for the place that has a washer and dryer. They're going to filter on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not even going to be in the game if you don't have a washer and dryer. Also, a lot of these business travelers, travel with pets.
Yep.
So if you don't allow pets, you're taking yourself out of the game as well. So those are the kind of getting yourself in the mindset of this traveler. As a bridge engineer, I was always traveling for work.
Yeah.
I know what I just can't put up with.
Yeah.
So I built it there. Now, regarding other marketing, this is one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they forget about Google. They focus their whole world down to Airbnb, and Airbnb is definitely a great spot. It has a lot of managements per night, but they're really just one marketing channel. I like to say they're one country on a planet, and that planet is one in the solar system of opportunities you have. If you shrink your world down to just an Airbnb, you really become their asset, and you miss out on this whole world of opportunities elsewhere, from word of mouth, from incentivizing your friends on Facebook to find leads for you, because they're all working corporate jobs. The person sitting in the cubicle right next to them is probably on a long-term assignment.
Yeah.
So you have to incentivize them and get on other marketing channels and learn that world of people who are a part of the traveling workforce that's growing in size.
So on Google, you would just recommend, searching different ways to be able to find your information to stand out?
Well, on Google, you're going to need your own website. So you're going to need your own property. Yeah. And then you're going to need your own reviews. So that means things like you're going to need Yelp. You're going to need to build up a Yelp account to give you credibility. And you're going to use Airbnb as well. But if you completely forget about Google, you're really not in the game, because that's where most people start. If they have a problem, they go right there to Google and they start looking for furnished rentals or extended stay opportunities. So you just got to be found. Corporate housing.
Yeah. So you're saying basically the SEO, get your Google ranking as high as possible to be able to have like your business account set up on there and so forth. So when somebody types in looking for short-term or extended stay rentals, then yours will be one of the first that pops up. Yeah.
So what you're saying is absolutely right, but I'm almost saying it a little bit different. I'm saying you got to have a website to even be in the game.
Yeah.
You can't a lot of people completely rely 100% on Airbnb because Airbnb makes it so easy for them. And it kind of rolls them into too comfortable for their own good.
Yeah. That's so good.
So that's what I help people with is it's kind of opening that world up for them, not competing against people doing 1-night stays, 2-night stays, or weekend stays.
Sure.
But a smaller, different group that's traveling for business reasons.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm 100% full, and we're right in the middle of this virus, right?
Yeah. So you are actively full right now.
How are my units filled, and other people are just hating life?
Yeah.
It's because I do extended stays.
I love that. See, this is something that's really inspiring me because we have a fourplex locally here in San Diego that will be done in about 2 weeks. And we were planning on doing Airbnb. We were planning on trying to rack up as much as we could. And, a lot of our friends are struggling with their Airbnbs right now. But extended stays is something that, it's genius. We can save so much because we don't need to have cleaning crews in there every single day. We don't need to pay the taxes on that short-term rentals. Anything over 30 days, we're good to go. And we have the areas to do the laundry. So it's like, we got 4 units. I'm not a big fan of having the pets there, to be honest. I'm a big dog lover myself. I got my dogs over here and laying down by me, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan with how much money we just put in.
There's a couple of things I want to share with you. Because you're in San Diego.
Yeah, please.
Is when you're talking to San Diego specifically, because you guys have so much tourism, just say you're a month-to-month landlord.
Okay.
That helps people understand, because San Diego has a special law that says Airbnb for 30 days and less only. They don't like the displacing the longer-term tenants.
Uh-huh.
So that's a special law in San Diego only. So just call yourself a month-to-month landlord, and you'll be able to play the game there.
Okay.
Now, related to pets, there's enzymes now. There's enzyme sprays now that attack the different odors. So we're chemically able to, we haven't always been able to, but we're able to handle the smells that cats and animals leave behind. So that is, if you like it because you can't get the smell out, that's no longer the case anymore. Technology has caught up to you.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I love that.
If there's some other reason, then absolutely, but don't do it because you can't get the cat smell out.
Gotcha. I know we're covering like a million things right here, but we're like spread out pretty thin across the board here. But I don't know. This is intriguing. There's a lot of awesome stuff that you have up here, so I appreciate you jumping on. Any type of struggles that you've been through within the real estate business that you've overcome and learned from that maybe some of our listeners could as well?
Oh, yeah. So I was investing all through 2008.
Yeah.
And that was crazy, scary, that recession. It's kind of like today where all the money dries up and everything stops. But it was a little bit easier because it was on an economic level instead of this health government involvement. So that time really stresses the importance of reserves. It's best to make 2 times what you need. That's why you got to find, you have to add other income streams. You absolutely have to. If you have a mortgage, just traditional 20% down and 80% mortgage, it's just not enough to help you maintain your property and have cash flow to support your family. It's going to definitely help you grow your equity and grow your wealth.
Yeah.
But it's not a cash flow vehicle.
Yeah. Regardless, you better get it fixed. You better get it fixed because if not, then you really set yourself up for failure.
So if you switch your business model, you can switch it to long-term furnished rentals. You can make about 30% more. Yeah. You can switch that to, go ahead and do some type of Airbnb or extended stay rentals. You can do that. And then you can go even further to corporate rentals where you're renting straight to businesses and make a lot more. All this about 5 times more. All this with the exact same property. So you just switch your mindset and switch your operating model and you can make a lot more. You don't need to go, you can take that 1 fourplex that you have and make 4 times more net income by switching the operating models on it. You can, or even better, having one being long-term and one being long-term furnished and other one, diversifying is even better. That way you can float between all 3 operating models and earn the same income as going out and buying 3 more fourplexes.
Yeah. No need for that.
Well, you want to do it when it makes sense, but
of course,
I'm saying you can have a lot more cash flow so that you can actually improve your lifestyle, enjoy your lifestyle, and have money in reserves and grow your equity. So it's a better way just to kind of move beyond the traditional landlord model. It's really hurting people, not innovating.
I love that. Well, I appreciate you so much. I feel like there's so much gold nuggets all throughout this episode. How can people get a hold of you?
So I have a blog called leadinglandlord.com. They can get a hold of me there. And I'm on all social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, BiggerPockets, all those types of things. Yeah, I'm always doing some type of experiment. Before Corona, I was working on the whole concept of being a preventative maintenance investor. And because you have to actually, instead of saving money for your maintenance, you spend money. You spend 5 cents to save $1. You have to spend the money. So that's the concept of it. So I'm working on that as soon as we're done with Corona. But I think there's some opportunities in front of us now that, as far as starting with a blank slate and kind of saying, well, what do I need, and how can I get there? This is a great time to be creative.
Yeah, that's good. And then with your course, I know you're grateful enough to be able to offer to give out a discount code for the listeners as well.
Yes, absolutely. What did we decided? We decided REI, right, for you? All caps?
Yeah. So REI. Okay.
So that website is to help people get involved with this whole extended stay version of the Airbnb. So that, and start to first say, hey, do I have an extended stay hotel in my area? If you do, that means you've done all the marketing research already. Sure. And then I'm show you how do you compete against them. So that's what the course is about. It's about there, and it's called extendedstaylandlord.com. Extendedstaylandlord.com. And if you enter the discount code REI, capitalize, we'll take $300 off that.
$300 off. I love that. That's huge.
Off for your listeners, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. I really do greatly appreciate that. I know there's tons of value in there, and super excited to dive in. Well, any final thoughts before we get out of here? No, this is great. I think all of us just need to keep focusing on getting out of here. But my final thought would be to think of this time as a cocoon. We want to spend some time on ourselves and emerge stronger. We don't want to come out the same way. Don't squander this opportunity. Yeah, it's such a precious opportunity right now to get closer with your family, get closer with your loved ones, really start working on that master plan that you've been always wanting to do, and leverage that, start building it up so you can capitalize. There's going to be tons of opportunity coming up very shortly, as well as there's always opportunity right in front of you. So very, very excited for these rare times, right? It's
Yeah, absolutely.
Mix.
Well, thanks for having me, sir. This is great.
Al, I appreciate you so much. I really do. This was a great episode, so super thankful. Everybody, if you definitely want to get his book, number one, reach out to him. Get the code is REI. Where can they find
It's extendedstaylandlord.com.
Extendedstaylandlord.com. You can
add to your show notes.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes as well, so you guys can see that right below. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, reach out to this man. He's going above and beyond to give you guys a discount code REI, $300 off. Can't beat that. That's a huge steal. So very excited. If you guys want to reach out to me, you guys can always do so at BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Otherwise, Instagram, Brandon Elliott Investments, and then Facebook.com/Brandon Elliott REI. Also, Facebook.com/Brandon Elliott Investor. You guys can reach out to me. We have some awesome things going on with credit right now, and we're helping out a lot of people with credit. So if you guys have any questions, need credit repair or anything, reach out to me. Would love to connect with each and every one of you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave a review on Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. And I'll send you my book, Action Driven, absolutely free. Till next time, guys, stay blessed. Thanks, Al.
All right.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.